management. The assets are the components that constitute a typical data center and the operational procedures, types of critical equipment and their impact on the data center. What is a data center? Data center services are responsible for giving IT organizations a range of information technology services, such as email management, data storage and management, web hosting, application hosting, data backup and recovery, networking, and so on. Data centers are designed to house information systems and related components such as servers, routers, storage, uninterruptible power supplies UPS, cooling units and power distribution units. Data centers have unique and typically large power requirements. They are often raised flow designs to accommodate the large amount of cables required. Data center benefits: economies of scale, purchase savings on large procurement, dedicated IT staff, shared resources and security. Security can be both physical and virtual. Physical mode includes limited access to servers and 24/7 surveillance along with firewall, antivirus, password protection in virtual mode. Agenda: Data center, Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and Tier 4. Servers, desktop tower, rack, blade and hyper-converged infrastructure HCI. Storage. Storage area network SAN. Network attached storage NAS and write once and read many WORM. Network devices, Layer 2 and Layer 3 switches, router, wireless controller. Security devices, Unified Threat Management UTM. Security Information and Event Management SIEM, Web Application Firewall WAF, Intrusion Detection and Prevention System. Abbreviations acronyms: HCI Hyper-Converged Infrastructure, L2 Layer 2 Switch, L3 Layer 3 Switch, SAN Storage Area Network, NAS Network Attached Storage, WORM write once read many, UPS uninterrupted power supply, AC air conditioner, SIEM security information and event management, WAF web application firewall. Coming to the tiered data center, there are 4 classifications. Tier 1 no redundancy, Tier 2 redundant components, Tier 3 concurrently maintainable, Tier 4 fault-tolerant. Data center classification. Tier 1 offers 99.671% availability that does not have redundant capacity with a single power source. Tier 2 offers 99.741% availability with capabilities of Tier 1 and redundant capacity. Tier 3 combines the capabilities of Tier 1, Tier 2 with dual power systems and thereby provides 99.982% availability. Finally, Tier 4 offers 99.995% availability with combined capability of Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 dual power systems and HVAC system. Data center, Tier 1 basic and no redundancy. Tier 1 data center is susceptible to disruptions from both planned and unplanned activities, to outage in electrical power distribution and cooling, but it may or may not have a raised floor, an UPS, or an engine generator. If UPS or generators happen to be single module systems, they may manifest into single points of failure. In Tier 1 DCA, complete annual shutdown is warranted for preventive maintenance and repair work. These apart, on emergencies, shutdowns are enforced. Operation errors or spontaneous failures of site infrastructure components may manifest into data center disruption. Data center, Tier 2 redundant components. Redundant components are slightly less susceptible to disruptions from both planned and unplanned activity than a basic data center. They have a raised floor, UPS, and engine generators, but their capacity design is N+1, N+1, which has a single-threaded distribution path throughout. Maintenance of the critical power path and other parts of the site infrastructure will require a processing shutdown. Next comes Data Center Tier 3E concurrently maintainable. Capability allows any planned site infrastructure activity, without disrupting the computer hardware operation in any way. Planned activities include preventive and programmable maintenance, repair and replacement of components, addition or removal of capacity components, testing of components and systems, and more. For large sites that use chilled water, 2 independent sets of pipes required. Sufficient capacity and distribution of electric power must be available to carry the total load on a single path while performing maintenance or testing on the other. Unplanned activities such as errors in operation or spontaneous failures of facility infrastructure components may still cause a data center disruption. Tier 4 data center directed towards fault tolerance. Provides site infrastructure capacity and capability to permit any planned activity without disruption to the critical load. Fault-tolerant functionality also provides the ability of the site infrastructure to sustain at least one worst-case unplanned failure or event with no critical load impact. This requires simultaneously active distribution paths, typically in a system-plus-system configuration. Electrically, this means 2 separate UPS systems in which each system has N+1 redundancy. Because of fire and electrical safety codes, there will still be downtime exposure due to fire alarms or people initiating an emergency power off (EPO). Tier 4 requires all computer hardware to have dual power inputs as defined by the Institute's fault-tolerant power compliance specification. Main power distribution with automatic transfer switch, ATS, STMO diesel generator, APC Symmetra PX500, uninterruptible power supply, MSN network power chiller, dry cooler LUVE, UPS batteries, MSN network power chiller, server storage, networking equipment. Data center tier requirement factors to consider. Distribution paths, power and cooling, UPS, generators and air conditioner. Redundancy active components, concurrently maintainable, servers, switches and storage. Redundancy backbone, fault tolerant, link aggregator, load balancer, redundancy horizontal cabling, multipath cabling. Let's see about major IT components. Major IT components are server, storage, network routers, and firewall. Server computer resource, tower servers, rack servers, blade servers, HCI hyper-converged infrastructure. Let's have a deep dive on what is a server and its types. A server is a high-end hardware system or software program which provides a service to clients, a process implementing one or more operations on one or more objects. A server is a computer that serves information to other computers. These computers, called clients, can connect to a server through either a local area network or a wide area network, such as the Internet. Most large businesses use rack-mountable hardware designed specifically for server functionality. These systems, often 1U in size, take up minimal space and often have useful features such as LED status lights and hot swappable hard drive bays. Multiple rack-mountable servers can be placed in a single rack and often share the same monitor and input devices. Tower server is a computer intended for use as a server. and built in an upright cabinet that stands alone. The cabinet, called a tower, is similar in size and shape to the cabinet for a tower-style personal computer. Tower servers are one of the most prevalent computing technologies in small businesses today, providing processing power for everything from serving files and databases to system management and corporate networking. As a leading provider of custom servers, storage solutions, and workstations for more than 25 years. The benefits of a tower server. A tower server delivers simple and efficient business value, with the ability to provide processing power for most common business computing functions. Advantages of a tower server include cost efficiency. Towers deliver a lot of processing power for their cost and represent a highly affordable server option for smaller businesses. Easier cooling. Because tower servers feature a fairly low density of components overall, keeping them cool is much easier than maintaining temperature for server rack mount devices. Simple scalability. As the compute needs of an organization increase, IT staff can easily add additional towers to accommodate increased demand. Upgradable. Tower servers can be easily and cost-effectively upgraded with additional features as needed. Rack server. A rack server is designed to be positioned in a bay slot, which enables to stack similar type of servers, devices on top of each other in a large rack. Equipment designed to be placed in a rack is typically described as rack mount instrument, rack mounted system, rack mount chassis, subrack, rack cabinet, rack mountable, or occasionally simply shelf. The height of the electronic modules is also standardized as multiples of 1.75 inches, 44.45 millimeters, or 1 rack unit or U, less commonly RU. Blade server is a stripped-down server computer with a modular design optimized to minimize the use of physical space and energy. Unlike a rack mount server, a blade server fits inside a blade enclosure, which can hold multiple blade servers providing services. Power, cooling, networking, various interconnects and management. Together, blades and the blade enclosure form a blade system, which may itself be rack-mounted. Hyper-converged infrastructure (HCI). Hyper-converged infrastructure (HCI) is a software-defined IT infrastructure that virtualizes all of the elements of conventional hardware-defined systems. HCI includes, at a minimum, virtualized computing, a hypervisor, software-defined storage, virtualized networking, software-defined networking. HCI typically runs on commercial off-the-shelf (COTS) servers. The primary difference between converged infrastructure (CI) and hyper-converged infrastructure is that in HCI, both the storage area network and the underlying storage abstractions are implemented virtually in software, at or via the hypervisor, rather than physically in hardware. Because all of the software-defined elements are implemented within the context of the hypervisor, management of all resources can be federated, shared, across all instances of a hyper-converged infrastructure. Let's discuss on the storage resource. Network Attached Storage (NAS). Storage Area Network (SAN). Write once, read many (WORM) device. Data deduplication. Storage. Storage is the collective term to denote the tools, technologies and processes to design, implement, manage and monitor storage infrastructure and resources within a data center. A SAN is a network of storage devices that can be accessed by multiple servers or computers, providing a shared pool of storage space. Each computer on the network can access storage on the SAN as though they were local disks connected directly to the computer. Network Attached Storage. Network attached storage (NAS) is a file level, as opposed to block level storage. Computer data storage server connected to a computer network providing data access to a heterogeneous group of clients. NAS is specialized for serving files either by its hardware, software, or configuration. NAS systems are networked appliances that contain one or more storage drives, often arranged into logical, redundant storage containers, or RAID. Network-attached storage removes the responsibility of file serving from other servers on the network. They typically provide access to files using network file sharing protocols such as NFS, SMB, or AFP. List of network protocols used to serve NAS. Andrew File System, IFS. Apple Filing Protocol, IFP. Server Message Block, SMB. File Transfer Protocol, FTP. Hypertext Transfer Protocol, HTTP. Network File System, NFS. Resync. SSH File Transfer Protocol, SFTP. Universal Plug and Play, UPnP. Storage Area Network, SAN. A storage area network, SAN, or storage network is a computer network which provides access to consolidated, block-level data storage. SANs are primarily used to access data storage devices, such as disk arrays and tape libraries from servers so that the devices appear to the operating system as direct attached storage. A SAN typically is a dedicated network of storage devices not accessible through the local area network. There are two types of SAN architecture: storage-centric SAN architecture and network-centric SAN architecture. Hosts. These are the system/end devices that use the SAN services. This can include servers and computers on the network. Fabric. This consists of the interfaces such as fiber channel and host bus adapter that enable connectivity between the hosts and SAN infrastructure. Storage. This is the physical storage drives, typically SAN architecture defines. Pool of storage used and how it is shared in between different servers or computers connected via the network. Type of network or data transmission connection used between the key SAN infrastructure and all connecting nodes. Placement of data depending upon the type of SAN architecture or topology. Type of SAN topology being used. Write once, read many, WORM, device. Write once, read many, WORM, describes a data storage device, in which information, once written, cannot be modified. This write protection affords the assurance that the data cannot be tampered with once it is written to the device. WORM protects the important files by keeping them safe and intact. It ensures the highest level of integrity and data security by eliminating the risk of important data from being deleted or modified. This way, the worm helps to preserve the authenticity and safety of recorded data. Data deduplication. Data deduplication is a process that eliminates excessive copies of data and significantly decreases storage capacity requirements. Deduplication can be run as an inline process as the data is being written into the storage system and or as a background process to eliminate duplicates after the data is written to disk. In computing, data deduplication is a technique for eliminating duplicate copies of repeating data. Successful implementation of the technique can improve storage utilization, which may in turn lower capital expenditure by reducing the overall amount of storage media required to meet storage capacity needs. Let's have a deeper dive into the network resource. Computer network. Layer 2 switch access level. Layer 3 switch distribution level. Router. Wi-Fi controllers and access point. Computer network. Computer network, a network of standalone data processing nodes that are interconnected for the purpose of data sharing. Data center is a pool of resources, computational, storage, network, interconnected using a communication network. Data center network, DCN, holds a pivotal role in a data center, as it interconnects all of the data center resources together. DCNs need to be scalable and efficient to connect tens or even hundreds of thousands of servers to handle the growing demands of cloud computing. Network switch. A switch is a networking device that keeps track of MAC addresses attached to each of its ports, so that data is only transmitted on the ports that are the intended recipient of the data. Switches are essentially perform store and forward function. Layer 2 switch access level. A Layer 2 switch is a type of network switch or device that works on the data link layer OSI layer 2 and utilizes MAC address to determine the path through where the frames are to be forwarded. A Layer 2 switch can also be referred to as a multi-port bridge. Layer 2 switches are similar to bridges. They interconnect networks at Layer 2, most commonly at the MAC sublayer, and operate as bridges, building tables, for the transfer of frames among networks. Historically, Layer 2 switches emerged to alleviate the contention problem of shared media LANs, as structured cabling emerged, and star-based connectivity to network centers was adopted. The exploitation of existing cabling and existing network adapters led to the continuation of using typical LANs, such as Ethernet and token ring, but enabled the development of Layer 2 switches, and star-based connectivity to network centers was adopted. The original goal of these switches was to enable use of a single run segment if feasible, per attached end system, minimizing contention delays that existed in the older shared segments. Ethernet switch and a dedicated Ethernet segment per attached system, collisions are avoided and delays minimized. Network Layer 3 switch distribution level. A Layer 3 switch combines the functionality of a switch and a router. It acts as a switch to connect devices that are on the same subnet or virtual run at lightning speeds and has IP routing intelligence built into it to double up as a router. Layer 3 switching is solely based on destination IP address stored in the header of IP datagram. Layer 4 switching may use other information in the header. The distinction between a Layer 3 switch is the way the device decides the route. The Layer 3 switch configuration can make a physical port act like a router interface instead of a switch interface. On a routed port, the switch does not perform Layer 2 switching logic on that frame. Instead, frames arriving in a routed port trigger the Layer 3 routing logic, including stripping off the incoming frame's Ethernet data link header trailer, making a Layer 3 forwarding decision by comparing the destination IP address to the IP routing table, adding a new Ethernet data link header/trailer to the packet, forwarding the packet, encapsulated in a new frame. Core switches. A core switch is a high-capacity switch generally positioned within the backbone or physical core of a network. Router. A router is a networking device that forwards data packets between computer networks. Routers perform the traffic directing functions on the Internet. Data sent through the Internet, such as a web page or email, is in the form of data packets. A packet is typically forwarded from one router to another router through the networks that constitute an internetwork, for example the Internet, until it reaches its destination node. A router is connected to two or more data lines from different IP networks. When a data packet comes in on one of the lines, the router reads the network address information in the packet header to determine the ultimate destination. Then, using information in its routing table or routing policy configurable by the authorized administrator, it directs the packet to the next network on its journey. Wireless router. IEEE 802.11, Bluetooth, is part of the IEEE 802 set of Local Area Network (LAN) technical standards, and specifies the set of Media Access Control (MAC) and Physical Layer (PHY) protocols for implementing wireless local area network WLAN computer communication. The standard and amendments provide the basis for wireless network products using the Wi-Fi brand, are the world's most widely used wireless computer networking standards. IEEE 802.11 is used in most home and office networks to allow laptops, printers, smartphones, and other devices to communicate with each other and access the Internet without connecting wires. Some of the security devices are Unified Threat Management (UTM), Security Information and Event Management, Intrusion Prevention and Detection System, Web Application Firewall (WAF), Hardware Security Modules (HSM). Security devices. The network security infrastructure is to enforce security policies at the data center. The tools include packet filtering such as ACLs, firewalls and intrusion detection systems, IDSs, which are both network-based and host-based. Packet filtering is a firewall technique used to control network access by monitoring outgoing and incoming packets and allowing them to pass or halt based on the source and destination Internet Protocol (IP) addresses, protocols and ports. Packet filters, proxy filters, and stateful packet filters are some of the technologies used to accomplish this protection. Each one works in a different way to filter and control traffic. Unified Threat Management (UTM) is an approach to information security where a single hardware or software installation provides multiple security functions. This contrasts with the traditional method of having point solutions for each security function. UTM simplifies information security management by providing a single management and reporting point for the security administrator, rather than managing multiple products from different vendors, but it may introduce a single point of failure also. Security Information and Event Management (SIEM) is a field in computer security where software products and services combine security information management (SIM) and security event management (SEM). They provide real-time analysis of security alerts generated by applications and network hardware. Vendors sell SIEM as software as appliances or as managed services. These products are also used to log security data and generate reports for compliance purposes. Security, Intrusion Prevention and Detection System. Intrusion Detection System is a device or software application that monitors a network or systems for malicious activity or policy violations. Any intrusion activity or violation is typically reported either to an administrator or collected centrally using a Security Information and Event Management (SIEM) system. Network Intrusion Protection System. It also provides logs with interrupted/actionable data. Security, Web Application Firewall (WAF). Web Application Firewall (WAF) is a specific form of application firewall that filters, monitors, and blocks HTTP traffic to and from a web service. By continuously inspecting HTTP traffic, it can prevent attacks exploiting a web application's known vulnerabilities, such as SQL injection, cross-site scripting, XSS, file inclusion, and incorrect system configuration. A hardware security module, HSM, is a physical computing device that safeguards and manages digital keys, performs encryption and decryption functions for digital signatures, strong authentication and other cryptographic functions, big data, sensitive data, digital transformation, Internet of Things and compliance. These are non-IT components used in data center. Redundant power supply, air conditioning facility, fire suppression control, access control, CCTV. Data center functional areas, entrance, room E-star, main distribution area, MDA, horizontal distribution area, HDA, zone distribution area, ZDA, equipment distribution area, EDA, data center threat vectors, unauthorized access, interruption of service, data loss, data modification. Unauthorized access is when someone gains access to a website, program, server, service, or other system using someone else's account or other methods. For example, if someone kept guessing a password or username for an account that was not theirs until they gained access, it is considered unauthorized access. Interruption in service means inability to access a computer, computer program, computer system, or computer network, or an inability to complete a transaction involving a computer. Data loss occurs when valuable or sensitive information on a computer is compromised due to theft, human error, viruses, malware, or power failure. It may also occur due to physical damage or mechanical failure of the equipment. Data modification, commands or statements that you use to add, change, or delete data are called data modification statements, which are a subset of the data manipulation language, DML, statements. Some DML statements are: insert statement adds new rows to a table or view. Data center design elements: cabling design, facility design, network design. Data center cabling design, copper and fiber cabling performance, connectors, cables, distribution hardware, cabling distances, space management. Data center facility design, data center sizing, power distribution methodologies, pathways and spaces, HVAC, security, operations and administration, flexibility, scalability, reliability and space management. Data center network design, support of legacy systems, support for 10 GBE and 10 plus GBE. Here we are looking at storage area network and data network. Thank you.